You know, sometimes the most powerful, life-changing wisdom is tucked away in just a single sentence. An idea is so simple, so true, that it can totally shift how we see everything. Today, we're going to unpack one of those ideas and figure out what really makes it tick. So let's dive in. Everyone you see is fighting a battle that you'll likely never know about. Therefore, choose kindness. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a feel-good platitude. It's actually a rock-solid logical argument. And in this explainer, we're going to break it down into its three core parts to see exactly why it's so incredibly profound. Okay, so the whole thing kicks off with this really powerful foundational truth. Everyone you see is fighting a battle. This first part isn't just an observation, right? It's an invitation to recognize a shared human reality, that underneath it all, we are all dealing with our own personal struggles. But what do these battles actually look like? We're not talking about, huge, dramatic conflicts that you see in the movies. The quote is pointing to something much more common, much more internal, the kinds of struggles we all face every single day. I mean, just think about how real these are. The silent anxieties that might keep someone up at night, the private grief over a loss that maybe nobody else even knows about, all those unseen pressures from work, from family, from just life, or even the slow buildup of daily frustrations and those deep personal disappointments. And of course, the hidden insecurities that pretty much all of us try to hide. These are the battles.
So, let's move to the second piece of the puzzle, and this is where it gets really interesting. The idea that we will likely never know about these battles. This right here is the crucial turning point. It's asking us to admit something really important. We don't know the full story.
The classic iceberg metaphor is just perfect for this. We only ever interact with what people choose to show us. Their public face, their curated social media feeds, their polite, "I'm fine, how are you?" But that is just the tiny, tiny tip. Beneath the surface lies this vast, complex, and totally invisible world of their real experiences, their thoughts, and their struggles. And check out this comparison. We see a calm expression on someone's face, but we don't see the massive effort it might be taking to maintain that calm. We see a confident post online, but we have no idea about the self-doubt that came before hitting share. Someone says, "I'm fine," and we completely miss the entire unspoken story hiding behind those two little words. The truth is, we are constantly drawing conclusions based on really incomplete data. So, if we accept premise number one, that everyone is fighting a hidden battle, and we accept premise number two, that we almost never know what that battle is, then that word, therefore, becomes the most important word in the whole sentence. It presents kindness not as some emotional whim, but as the only logical, compassionate conclusion you can possibly come to. Let's reframe what we mean by kindness here. It's not just about being nice. It's an active, intelligent choice. It's what you do when you realize you don't have all the facts about what someone else is going through. It is a decision to act with grace, specifically because you know your own perspective is limited. So how do we actually do this in the moment? Well, it really boils down to a simple three-step mental process. First, before you react to somebody, a short email, a rude driver, a frustrated coworker, just pause, just for a second. Second, actively acknowledge the iceberg. Remind yourself that there's a whole story here that you cannot see. And third, with that new awareness, consciously choose the kind response. And that is the absolute key takeaway. A reaction is automatic, right? It's often driven by our own stress or our own assumptions, but a decision is deliberate. It's about taking back control and choosing a better way forward, not just for them, but for you too. Okay, so we've unpacked the logic, but the real power of this whole idea comes when we stop just analyzing it and actually start living it. This last part is all about taking this framework and applying it directly to your own life, starting right now. In the end, this entire philosophy, this whole big idea, really just boils down to one thing. One simple choice repeated over and over in every small interaction, every single day. The choice to offer grace when you don't have all the facts, the choice to be kind. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. As you go about the rest of your day, Just think about the people you're going to cross paths with: your family, your coworkers, the person at the grocery store. Whose unseen battle will you choose to honor today?